Make sure that every post you make has either a graphic or a video. Literally every one. It'll double your engagement right there.
Take some time. Chris Guillebeau does something that I love, and I started doing this back in 2011. He does this thing called the annual review, and he goes back and he looks at his goals and he breaks down, hey, did I accomplish this? Did I not accomplish this? And the reason why. You know, he kind of just does this analysis of the past 12 months. Was he able to hit his goals, things that he was looking forward to, things that he didn't do? And I think it's extremely important for us to take time to be aware of the things that we've accomplished and where we want to be. One, because you're grateful for what you've accomplished, which a lot of times we often overlook because we're always working so hard and we don't take the time to pat ourselves on the back. And two, it gives you a roadmap for where you want to be going into 2015, which is going to be a huge year.
Just take risks. I had tried different things for a long time. So try different things, take some risks. Eventually, if you work hard, something's going to pan out for you that you really enjoy doing.
It's important to be conscious of your footprint and your impact in the world. And you need to stop thinking that everybody else is smarter or better than you and that their podcast, their radio show, their TV show is either worthy or better. You need to just get your thoughts together, do your homework and get your voice heard, record your show and get it out there. Just go and don't look back. Take the rearview mirror off the car because you're not going there. Just look forward and keep moving.
You're not going to be a better parent because of the nurture versus nature argument, or you're not going to be a better parent because your kid watches less TV than mine. I think the way to be a better parent is to have your life in order, your finances, your health. Make sure you have a job you like because that brings a lot of stress. So if you get all that stuff in order, automatically you're just going to be a better parent.
Here's the number one thing that business owners need to be doing. You need to be growing your business. Public relations and marketing is the core of that. If you're spending all your time because you're a podcaster and you're spending all your time just doing podcasts, you're not doing your business right. If you're a blogger and you're spending all your time writing and you're working out, your Google ads and all that stuff, you're just not using your time effectively. You need to be out attracting big audiences to your products and services so that you can make a lot of money. The faster you get you get this sense of what you're supposed to be prioritizing your time with, the faster you're going to be making serious money.
Study the market you're moving to and definitely look into the professional organizations because there are people that are already working hard to make your arrival easier. You just don't know it.
Don't underestimate what you can do in your life. Don't get stuck somewhere. Somebody asked me why I was successful in my career with no college degree. I said, because I left Ardmore, Oklahoma. I left. I moved to Washington. I went in the Army. I moved to New York, Paris, Chicago, L.A. I got out and found the world is different than it is in my little town in Ardmore, Oklahoma. Don't underestimate what you can do. Most people put a box around themselves. They underestimate what they can do. They need to raise their expectations.
You want to make very good friends with all the PR people that you can. And you want to start with the attractions that you really want to visit, hotels, restaurants, things to do, and just make connections. And, let them know what you could potentially do for that business, that hotel, and they're willing to comp you. Now, you have to use the right vocabulary. You need to make sure you're extremely professional. And above all, you need to make sure that you over-deliver on any promises that you give.
Experiment and test things and have fun with your social media.
Work on the biggest, the hardest ones every day until they go away. The problem is people work on easy stuff. When you work on easy stuff, life gets harder. When you work on hard stuff, life gets easier.
If you want to grow in your business, here's the reality. You've been listening to this show now and you are in the right place at the right time. The fact that you're listening to a program like this is setting you apart of 99% of the population who is not focused on personal development and self-growth. That is how you become a millionaire, is that you learn by learning and you learn by doing. You have to get the kind of the learning knowledge and the activity knowledge. The activity knowledge is 10 times more powerful than the learned knowledge, but that is where you take it, you put it into practice, and you learn from it. But, keep listening and tuning in to Starve the Doubts, because you are going to learn stuff that is just going to shorten your learning curve, and people are creating successes faster than ever. And it's because, in my opinion, it's because of the prevalence, just how much great learning and how much great education is out there and inspiration is out there for those of us, to create success faster than ever.
I would just want to encourage them to not be overwhelmed if they're thinking about ways to get their word out. If your listeners are avid podcasters, I love your questions on whether or not they could turn their podcast into a book. I think it's a brilliant way to do it. So I would encourage them to find that theme, find their best shows, get them transcribed, and plug them into an outline. And you may not tell you what, I'd be surprised if you didn't have a really good quality book just laying right in front of you and you didn't even realize it.
And sales is really just relationship building and finding someone who has a need and filling that need and bringing value to people. And if you can do that and you can work really, really hard doing those things, then I would say that's probably one of the best traits that as a business owner, you and I can get really, really good at. And it'll be extremely financially rewarding for us.
I think that when we are willing to let go a little bit on how strict we are, we free ourselves up to do more. It's kind of that minimalist ideology. You let yourself go a little bit and not worry about things as much, and you give yourself more time and freedom to accomplish what you'd like to accomplish.
Think about the books and whoever you might be working with, whether it's an author services company or whether it's Create Safe, or even your book needs to look as good or better than the books to the left and the right of it if it were going to be on the bookstore shelf. So look at the books in your genre, make sure that you can create a great cover and a great image for the cover.
When it comes to things that have harmed us in our lives and in the past and along our trail, we need to be willing to forgive, and we need to be willing to let go and let things kind of work out on their own, and that's kind of my overall thought about this social media too. I'm not quite, Field of Dreams, build it and they will come, but yet I don't push too hard. I think we need to let things forgive and let things naturally take place as they will.
If you're listening to some expert tell you how to be engaging and how to succeed in social media and blah, 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 and you look at this miserable person with 50 followers and she's like trolling and getting into arguments and all that kind of stuff. You have to ask yourself now, why would I listen to someone who has a life like that? That's what I'm saying.
If you can get certain key people involved to talk about your event, to speak at your event, that's always a great way. Building an email list. A lot of people may not be familiar with email marketing, but you can go to Aweber, you can go to Constant Contact. A lot of these places have resources where you can really dig in and see what it takes to build an email list.
Here's the thing about that most people don't think about. It's a lot bigger responsibility when you have millions, literally millions of people following what you say. It's a lot different than just posting something on your Facebook wall for your friends and family.
Podcast Movement 2015 is coming to Texas this summer, and we want you to be there. Join over 1,000 current and aspiring podcasters at the world's largest podcaster conference, featuring Sarah Koenig of Serial, Roman Mars of 99% Invisible, Pat Flynn, Aisha Tyler, Lou Mangello, John Lee Dumas, and over 50 other speakers. All that's missing is you. Learn more and register now at podcastmovement.com.